It's your book, remember? Okay, take this to them. Grab the whole thing and this.
We running out of hands.
Trish is going to read the book. That's a great book. 50 kisses.
50 kisses, how sweet.
And he loves to read books. This is a book he wrote for them. Well, kind of a big card. But he likes to write books. Read it. Scoot up so that everybody can read.
Mima and Papa met at a pool. And they got married November 9th, 1963. And they traveled home. Let's party.
Okay, now open that up.
You gotta open it up.
He worked really hard on that. Open it up.
I really did.
What, this?
Yes.
Telling
He
you.
did that all by himself.
Does the,
Yeah.
Look, I'm digging it. And then everybody's gonna
Rip in the paper. There we go.
this come off?
Uh-huh.
Now look at it.
They want you to look at it.
That's one forever gift. Forever out.
Don't rip it.
Take forever to unwrap.
There you go. Turn it upside down.
You said turn it upside down.
At least one drink today had to be spilt.
Mima and Papa married 50 years. And then we got
Everybody.
all of the people. Mima, Uncle Neil, Aunt Sandy, Trish, Uncle Mike, Trevor, Corey, Cameron, Tiffany, Ryan, Christian, the Howell family, Courtney, bunch of them for swinging.
I noticed you're orange.
See it, Mom? Did you do that?
Very good, very good.
See it, Mom?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's right.
Thank you.
Anybody else have something they want to say? Thank you.
I don't know what to say.
I'll say something.
And Risa?
If I live to be 102, we'll get our 50.
Well, it's
If I
something
put
to
up with you that long.
strive for.
You made it so far.
Me and you have the same
I'll say something. I mean, been 20 years. Oh, actually, they gone 20. How long have you been on Minor Prize? Today, they look the same to me. We spent most of our time as teenagers. From the time I was 14 years old till I was 20 years old, I stayed at their house 90% of the time.
We were there from 89 to 03. I mean, to 93.
He was my
89
teacher.
to 93.
He was my favorite English teacher. He was my teacher in high school. He taught me all the way up. Anyhow, we played a lot of long nights, a lot of canasta games, long nights, canasta. And that's what kept me out of trouble. Other than for them, I'd probably been in trouble all the time. But we was over playing canasta. Mr. and Miss Howell, we had canasta, and my wife, which was my girlfriend at the time, we invited her over and introduced her to the family, and they accepted us in. And that was a hangout. Their house was the hangout all the time growing up. That was where we hung out at.
Me too.
So, had a lot of fun. And I remember one summer putting a roof on the house, and when evening thunder showers came up, we had all the decking on. All of a sudden, water starts pouring in his house. Look at the ceiling fan. There's more water coming out of the ceiling fan than his air coming out of it. So water's pouring out the ceiling fan. The lights on. It's just a running. Then we jump up on the roof with it coming to shower rain with a tar paper, trying to roll tar paper out and dry it in. It's coming to flood. We're on the roof throwing tar paper. Good memories though. They're bad memories. We had a lot of fun. A lot of work. I don't know if I call that fun or not. Maybe that's not wrong. Maybe I'll back up. A lot of misery. I guess he rubbed off on it.
He's over there.
Oh, by the way, I put that thing on the skill with the skill saw, jigsaw, building picket fence. I put that skill you taught to you. He's the one that showed me how to do that. That fence he built. He's the one that showed me how to do that, Steven. All them years ago.
Marisa wants to say something.
Tricia put a little thing in the card saying that she wanted anybody who was willing to say something, and so, we've been giving this some thought. But I was kind of surprised that so many of your kids don't talk. I don't know how they miss this gene of people who like to talk. So, yeah. And I'm one of the few old enough here to remember when they first got married, and I was not that old. Jim's about 9 years older than me, so I was, pretty young. But I remember when I was in junior high, when he moved back from West Texas to come to junior college. He had finished his senior year living with Uncle Clifford while we moved all to East Texas. And so when he moved back and started to what was then Hick-Jick and now is TVCC. But anyway, I was in junior high and I was very impressed with him, and all of my friends were especially impressed with him. Remember, we were little junior high girls, and they thought he was too cute. I mean, too cute. And so, but
What happened?
but Jim was kind of an unusual
Yes.
young man in that he didn't just, a lot of times guys who are college age don't have a whole lot to do with their little brothers and sisters who are quite a bit younger than him, but Jim was not like that, and he invited us to go places with him and do things with him, and I really remember that still and appreciate it. And he dated a lot of girls, and there was one.
Get him in trouble.
I know, right? Well, but I'm getting to the good part of the story. There was one girl in particular that he dated right before Martha, and I do not remember her name, but I remember that he was interested enough in her that I'm getting to the good part. I promise I'm not going to get you in trouble. But anyway, I don't remember what her name was, but we even went to her house, traveled to her house, and so there was some interest there, I guess.
Let Jim give her a name.
He better not remember.
I forgot that one.
Well, the thing that I remember about her was that she wore the reddest lipstick in the world. So we'll just call her Red Lips, okay? And so, but this is how fast it went. One day I thought he was dating Red Lips, and the next day he was getting married to Martha. So whatever he saw at Love Lookout must have been something he really liked, okay? Because, Red Lips was history, okay?
Well,
Red Lips was history after that.
Ugly bikini.
Salute.
Still fell in love with.
That was not the story I heard. There wasn't anything ugly in or about that bikini. But anyway. See, I told you I was going to get you out of trouble, right? I want to tell this one little story, though, because that, it was not, I think it was the summer. It was the summer right after Tricia was born, and so I was about in the 8th grade, I guess, and because Tricia was a little bitty baby, and I was staying with him in the summer trying to help take care of the kids. Now remember, I'm in the 8th grade, okay, so keep that in mind. 7th or 8th grade, and Sandra was about 2, and Tricia was a newborn, and I am still a kid myself. And so I'm babysitting for them while they're trying to finish nursing school, and he was going to school and working and doing all that kind of stuff. And so I was trying to help them. And I woke up one morning probably later than I should have. And Sandra is poking chalk up my nose, and she has bath powder all over her, naked as a jaybird. Bath powder completely all over that house, and I am just freaking out. But so we had a very interesting summer. And one more story, and I promise I'll hush. But I was just really, I mean, my mother did teach us to cook, but I had never made gravy. And I was going to make Jimmy some gravy. Did we ever get that thing cut? And I mean cut, because that gravy was so soft. It didn't look right, so I kept adding flour, and then pretty soon I had a whole skillet full of stuff that probably would have broken a knife, okay? So, interesting summer, but good times too, good times. Did you ever eat all that gallon jar of mustard?
God, mustard.
The one that Archie got us for Christmas one year.
Yeah.
Because you like mustard so much, he bought a thing this big of mustard, because he ate it on eggs and everything. I mean, it was gross.
Just in case y'all haven't been introduced, this is Miss Bonnie Crockett, and she was Mom's maid of honor.
Yeah.
She's still here.
I just was going to say a few quick words. That it said to say something humorous if you wanted to, but she stole all the thunder. I don't think I have any.
Hard act to follow.
Both LH and I and Martha and Jim both married young. I had a soldier boy, and Martha got her a future coach. And one of the things I remember was if he was so smitten with her, she was really smitten with him. That's all she could talk to you about was Jim. So it must have just been one of those made in heaven. We have bypassed them, though. We've already been married 51 years, so they have to work hard to catch up with us. And, we eloped. They had a nice little church wedding. And one of my husband's mother's neighbors said, this will never last. He came home on a 3-day pass, and we went and got married. Spent the night in Dallas, spent one night in Jacksonville, and he went back to the Army, and I went back to work.
You don't behave yourself, it may not last yet.
Well, you're right, because someone made the remark that lots of them don't make it to 50 now. Some don't make them that long. Don't last even after they get to 50. It doesn't work out. So I don't know what happens then. Anyway, we both had children, and we worked, and we reared kids, and days passed, and now it's 50 years for both of us plus. And God's been really good to us, and I know He has been to y'all, and I hope you have a lot more time together. We will. Happy anniversary. I don't know if I can say that yet.
Uncle Calvin, you want to say something?
I will.
Uh-oh.
Yep,
And Uncle Calvin was the best man.
I was.
So we have
Still
the
am.
original party
He's
here.
still pretty good.
Yeah.
I will.
Don't get all teary-eyed.
I'll
now.
get choked up. I
Yes, you
sometimes
will.
do.
You will.
It's been said many times by a lot of folks that we can't choose our family. If we could, I'd choose you again.
Anybody else?
Okay, and I'll probably get choked up because he stole my one about the canasta thing. Because I had two stories. One was the canasta. He took it. He always steals the one that I want to do, so he took the canasta. And I was like, okay, he stole it. I only had two. Yeah. No. We'll probably make it to 50 because, like he said, we were 15. Y'all moved down in 89. I moved to Mountain Enterprise in 89. If it wasn't for him and y'all, I probably wouldn't be sitting here today. I didn't have the mother figure. You were my mother figure. I remember our junior prom. I didn't have anybody to help me with my hair. I remember you worked on my hair all day long.
we got dressed at your house.
I got dressed at your house. I got ready, and David was gonna wear the shirt and the jacket and jeans. You told him, no, sir.
Oh,
you
that's
were
the
gonna.
picture you look pregnant in.
No, that's not the one. Leave it to my son. No,
Okay, you're out
the
of the
photographer when we went to the prom messed up on that picture. I was standing on Miss Howe's porch with the good picture.
Yes.
And Miss Howe told me, she said, no, sir, you were going to go and you are going to put on your tux with the pants,
Yes,
not
she did.
jeans.
Got all over me.
She got all over me. So he went and he put on his tux. And we were standing at their house in his tux, and I'm in my dress, and we actually got a good picture where I do not look pregnant. No, when we went to prom, that's the one where I look pregnant, because he went and changed and put on jeans and just a jacket, and then when we went to prom, they messed up, and his jacket went over my black dress. So yeah, but you were my mother, so I
I
appreciate
forgot
y'all
about you
doing.
working all day on our hair.
Yeah, she worked all day on my hair, so I appreciate you taking me in and being kind of like my mother. So I appreciate y'all being in my
I
life.
forgot all about that. She started that morning. It took her that evening.
I'm still not talking to this guy because he stole my date. I was talking to her first at the swimming pool.
He was with us the day we met at the swimming pool.
Oh, I thought you hired him to go talk to her.
Like a wingman?
That's what I
No,
thought.
she said something about me carrying my little brothers and sisters around. And
Uh-huh. Yeah.
He's on the side.
Yeah.
Okay, Cheryl.
Okay.
Having a party here.
Now, when I was growing up, Trisha and I were close to the same age, but oh my gosh, we tried to keep each other out of trouble mostly. But a lot of summers I spent. Trisha and I were together, and Uncle Jimmy, worked at the swimming pool as lifeguard and did the swim meets and stuff. Well, the year that, the summer after I turned 9, I had been in a really bad car accident. Speaking of which, Aunt Martha came and was my nurse the whole time I was in this body cast for 2.5 months.
I always wondered what happened.
And so she took care of me. Well, I had just gotten out of my cast. Now remember, I've been inside for about 3 months, not outside. And it's summertime, and we decide we're going to go swimming because Uncle Jimmy has a swim meet. And so, me and my infinite wisdom, we go to the swimming pool and out in the sunshine all day long. And I come home, and Mom can testify, I was blistered and sunburned, and they ended up having to take me to the hospital and everything.
I think he put some sun shield on her, trying to keep her from getting burned, and I think she had a skin reaction to it. And I mean, her face looked like a solid blister. I thought she was ruined. But, and sure enough, she was.
And then they took me to the emergency room. I'm on crutches, just got out of the cast, and now my face is wrapped in gauze. They probably, thought my mother beat me, and what they didn't know, she really did. But there's I have lots of really good memories growing up of weekends and summers and stuff spent with Uncle Jimmy and Aunt Martha. And when Uncle Jimmy was working at Crystal's, and we went and had pizza there, and they had that little cartoon movie playing, we thought that was so cool. And there's all kinds of neat memories like that. But I was telling my mom last night that one of the best memories that I have actually came from Aunt Martha. And it was right after Jason died, my brother. died in a car accident, and we were up at the cemetery. They had just had his funeral and everything, and I was distraught, obviously. And Aunt Martha came up to me, and she put her arm around me, and she said, "I want you to know that you weren't just Jason's big sister. You're also his best friend. And he looked up to you and wanted to be just like you when he grew up. And that meant more to me than anything that anybody could have said." And I was telling Mom, it seemed like a lot of time growing up that Aunt Martha and Uncle Jimmy knew just what to say when I needed to hear it. And so I'm glad that they're my aunt and uncle.
Johnny, you got anything to say? Actually, you know what they said? You're not going to give a toast. You're going to give a roast. So I expect you to get up and give that roast.
Yeah, because Aunt Martha says if you don't say
Uncle
anything,
Johnny's all the time
sometimes
picking on Mom.
I know, but they said that this was to honor them, and Marisa told me I need to say something good, so I've been sitting there trying to figure out what to say that was good. But it's hard for me to count. I'm still trying to think about it. No, but serious about all of it, though. I have enjoyed Martha and Jimmy, but mostly Martha, because we get together. We have a lot of time just going back and forth, picking on each other, and I don't have that with my other sister-in-law that I have, and it seems like I'm closer to this side than I am my own side of the family, on our side. But and I really enjoyed being a part of this family, and especially with Jimmy and Martha. And Jimmy is the type of person, you need something done or need some help, I'd call on him before I even call on my brother to help me do anything. I know Jimmy would show up to help me do it. And that's something that you can do. You can count on them. So I really appreciate y'all too.
Now, y'all are so close that you broke your leg first.
Yeah.
She got jealous and
I
had to
know
go
it.
and do the same thing.
Yeah.
So whatever y'all do, y'all seem to
I went and
coincide
helped
with
Pat
each
take
other.
care of her in the hospital, and then she came
Yeah.
and helped take care of Johnny.
Yeah,
So
so y'all
That's
just
right.
take turns. Just
Don't do it again.
I know. I tried the other day.
I'm going to piggyback on what Uncle Johnny said about you can count on Jimmy and Martha. I feel like I'm here kind of representing my mom. As y'all know, my mom passed away years ago, and the Howell family has a tradition of love and family that's very deep, and so y'all were there for my mom in her time of need, and just want to tell you I love you and I appreciate that.
you're getting him. You look like you're getting teary-eyed too. I appreciate that.
Older guys do.
Yeah. Anybody else?
I just want to say that as everybody talks about Martha and Jimmy, there's a theme that goes through everybody's words, and it's about how caring and giving that you are to everybody that comes in your life. And I've only known Martha and Jimmy about 15 years, but they're my neighbor, and I couldn't ask for better neighbors and better friends, because anytime, Martha knows I don't listen to the news, and anytime a storm is coming, she will call me and say, "Hey, did you know a storm is coming?" Because I just kind of live in oblivion sometimes, I think. But it doesn't surprise me that Martha and Jimmy have made it 50 years, because when you take two people who are as loving and caring as they both are to so many people outside of their home, it's obvious that that love and that care is within their home also. Martha is the funniest person I've ever met in my life. She has made me laugh more than anybody else that I have ever met. She spent a week with me at a very low point in my life where I I spent a month at MD Anderson Hospital in Houston, undergoing cancer treatment. She made me laugh every single day. We laughed every single day. And I have to tell our swimming pool story. Apparently, that's also a theme that underlies a lot of these words is Martha and her swimming pool situation. Well, I drove up here one day and there was an above-ground swimming pool with one of those blue vinyl things that all of a sudden was up in her yard. And so she said, go home and get your swimsuit and we'll go swimming. So I ran down the road and got my swimsuit, and there was, those don't have steps. So Jimmy had built her this platform. There were 2 cinder blocks, was the first step, and then this wooden platform, which is the platform I think she used to get on her horse that broke her leg. So we pop up and get into the swimming pool, and we're on our boats having a good time, just laughing and talking, and decided it was time to get out. Well, it had a little ladder. We got over the little ladder and onto the platform. And we were standing there and we looked down. Going up, it didn't look like a big step. It looked fine. But you know how it is when you're going down. We both leaned over and looked down at the cinder blocks, which were, probably 18 inches away, which was a pretty good drop after she had a broken leg, and I was still pretty bunged up myself. We sat there and we looked at it, and it was just hilarious. We looked down and we looked at each other, and Martha reached over and grabbed my hand, and she said, "What are we going to do?" And about that time, Ryan was coming up the field from Sandra's house, and Ryan rescued us and helped us 2 old ladies down off the swimming pool ladder. So we laughed and we laughed and we laughed, and it's been just a wonderful friendship, and I thank you both for the love and support that you've given me, and it's obvious that you've given that love and support to all of these people, because that's who you are.
Okay, I'll say something now. I've had a few sips of tea now that I don't know. I don't know how they put up with us all those years. I mean, yeah, they helped all of y'all, but I think we gave them a lot of gray hairs along the way. From
I'm responsible for most.
I think my sister trying to shave my brother's hair and threw it in the fire in the house.
No. I cut his head when I cut his hair. You cut my hair.
I didn't do anything. I was the innocent one all throughout the childhood life, because I remember nothing that all these kids, other kids have done.
You're the one that threw it in the fire. I cut his head open. He had to have stitches.
Well, and then my other brother getting a few bumps and bruises. Neil running and hitting glass and almost cutting his toes, whatever. Well, he did, but I don't know. I think I was the most innocent one of them all. I was the quiet one and the one that stayed in the corner. Although they never clothed me. Half the pictures I see, I'm half naked.
That's not their fault. Honey, you would get your clothes off and be running down the street before I could catch you, and that's for sure.
So,
hopefully you did outgrow that, though.
Oh, yes.
I don't know. Maybe she's the smart one because she's trying to help them so they wouldn't have so much laundry.
Yes. I stayed sheltered. I was the quiet one. I don't ever remember getting hurt growing up. I think everybody else did but me. I never, except for my toe when I slid down the car and cut my toe open on the windshield wiper. That was the only thing I can remember that really happened.
You didn't remember stepping off in a pile of burning leaves and cooked both of your feet?
No, I wouldn't even imagine that.
What about heater grate?
And stand on the heater grate and close up when you're about 2 years old and make pancakes out of your feet? Waffles out of your feet?
Well, you see, they didn't shoot me very well. Not only did they not clothe me, they forgot to put me shoes. I know. Don't y'all see? All these great stories, and then
I think there's a pattern there. I think she's blanked out all of her bad parts.
I was thinking the same thing.
But I have to say,
Dementia.
I have to thank them though for all the help that they've been giving me, like, these past years and with school, and I have to ask my dad for help still while going to school. And thank you for that. I appreciate everything that y'all do. So I really do. Mom, the nurse that she is, still sits with me. I'm going to the doctor. I'm 50, almost 50 years old. I have my mother's hand taking me to the doctor and sitting in the doctor's office with me, going into the doctor's office itself with me. I'm 50 years old. I still need my mom.
You're not the only one. I still need my mom too. Right after we got Dakota, and I was putting him over in the crib, and my back went out on me, and I was halfway putting him down, and I'm like, Mike, come help! Before I dropped him in the crib.
Yeah, but
She came and stayed a week with me while I got nursed back to health so that I could function again.
when Dakota was born,
Oh, that's so funny. Oh my gosh.
we were in the room with him. Now they bring the child and stays in the room with the parents now when they're born. They don't do it like they used to. He was in the room. We were in there with him that first night. The first day he was born, his first diaper change. She freaked out. She couldn't change the diaper. Martha changed Dakota's first diaper.
You know that first poopy diaper that they have before they let them leave the hospital? I totally freaked out. What do it's like I've never changed a diaper in my life.
Martha changed
She had
his
to
first diaper.
change his diaper for me.
That was the first one that was yours.
I actually have 3 grown kids. And they had regular diaper changes. It was just like I completely forgot how to change a diaper. I'm like, oh no.
Do you remember the time that you and I went to the courthouse and this poor little lady, she had to be in her 80s. And my mom and I sat there and said, oh gosh, I hope that my son, I don't have him at 50 or 60 years old, still living with me. Which, and that poor lady, her son had to be 50 or 60, bailing him out or paying his probation or whatever it was. And my mom and I just sat there shaking our head like, oh Lord, please don't let this be me on down the line. That was really sad that she was still having her son live with her and trying to take care of him instead of the other way around. But it was sad, but it was funny.
I don't think they ever suffered from the empty nest syndrome. We started reaching about 16. They're like, okay.
We haven't given them time yet.
Where do you look?
Trisha, the nest is never emptied yet.
No, that's true. They replaced us with animals. So that's all right.
Well, I just want to say that when I see the two of them together, to me it defines what true togetherness really is. And they have a wonderful family.
Thank you. Is that it? All right. Yay.
Anybody else?
I'm empty.
Courtney. Neil.
Garcon.
He's ignoring you.
Well,
Yes, yes.
I haven't known you two very long, but from what I've heard, all the stories my dad has told me, and from all the idiotic things he did with Marcus, I'm surprised y'all two made it through with it. But I'm glad y'all were here to support both of my parents.
There you go.
Oh, that is so sweet.
He's heard plenty about y'all.
My name's not Marcus.
Murdoch.
Murdoch.
He knows your name. He trusts me. He knows your name.
He tells me too many different stories.
You ought to hear all the stories this child has heard.
Too many.